Wow, it's been a long time since I've been here. Okay, I'm sorry for being gone for so long, but I'm here now, and this year I hope to try to upload somewhat regularly and somewhat of a schedule. I'll figure that out. I mean, this year with school it's been tough, and just to do so. Um, Hopefully I'll get it a lot better this year. But yeah, this has been a while for me too, and my heart's kind of going. Anywho, today I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to discuss and share this thing that was revealed to me, which was being an athlete in Christ. I'm not talking about, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm not talking about just being an athletic Christian. I'm talking about being an athlete in Christ. See, St. Paul talks about it in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 to 27. He says something along the lines of, run. In a race, a lot of racers run, but only one wins the prize. Run as to win the prize. Now, I don't know much about St. Paul, but I do know that, from this I can inference that he liked athletics, and he might have been an athlete himself. Well, so then what does that really mean? I'll get more into that, but today I wanted to talk about one, what an athlete really is, and what an athlete in Christ would be, and then two, what does that mean for like a regular person who may not even be athletically interested? So let's get right into it. First things first, an athlete is not necessarily an athlete for winning championships, right? An athlete is more of is determined an athlete because they train and they live that lifestyle of an athlete. That doesn't mean, an athletic lifestyle comes with certain things, and if you're thinking big picture like NBA, NFL, comes with a lot of fame, comes with a lot of glory, but you think, I would suggest we think a little smaller scale. An athlete in a high school environment would be, not every high school gets to win championships, not every high school player gets to be this great, superstar, right? And so if we think about it that way, it relates to us a lot more than if we thought about it in, some huge NBA or NFL or just huge athletic organization. Thought about athletes from there, but anyways, by thinking about it as an athlete, by thinking about it as a high school athlete, we can see that it's not so much of them winning that makes them an athlete. It's so much of them putting in the hours, putting in the work, putting in the, going through the blood, sweat, and tears, or not blood, hopefully not, but sweat and tears, and like putting their heart and soul into what they do to try to perfect it. So what does that mean to be an athlete in Christ? Well, I'm taking the athletic perspective of it, and I'm trying to put it into what seems interesting to us, because athletics for a lot of us I think is interesting, or just things that we're passionate about, how we put our heart and souls into it. How can we do that for Jesus? Something or someone that seems sort of mediocre at times. And I don't know if you feel that he is exciting and he is there's a lot of adventures to be had with him, that is awesome and that is phenomenal, and I'm really glad that you do. But I think for a lot of us, sometimes, when we get to choose between Jesus and hanging out with friends, or Jesus and choosing whatever we want, a lot of times it's choosing whatever we want that's appealing to us. And that's okay. Because an athlete, for him it'd be, or for her, it'd be choosing the strict diet, or choosing to work out, or choosing to eat unhealthy, choosing to eat sweets, chocolates, cakes. Obviously, this is the more appealing one, right? And it doesn't mean that this is bad. It just means that it takes more discipline to choose this one. And in the same way, if we can be an athlete and run to win the race, not run to compete, we can choose this side of it. So how do you do that? How do you implement that as a normal person? Well, an athlete, like I mentioned before, has two things that they do. They train, and then they live the lifestyle. So we gotta do the same thing in our lives. How do you train? Invite Jesus into everything that you do, be it be it playing playing a sport, or playing a music instrument, or whatever it is that you do that you enjoy doing. Invite him into that. Tell him, hey, come on with me. If you're driving and if you are going on a drive, sometimes I do that. It's like, Jesus, come on, let's go on a drive. Do I see him? No. Do I feel him? Probably not. Most of the time, not. But I invited him, and he takes that opportunity to come in and to really make a difference. Second, and also, by doing that, everything that you do essentially becomes a prayer, and you start involving him more and more into your own life, rather than him kind of being this vague thing that you run to every time you have a problem. It's not bad to run to him when you have a problem, but that's not the kind of lifestyle you'd want to live, or that's not the kind of relationship you want to have with him, because there's so much more to it than just that. Second is to live. I mean, he didn't put chocolate cake and everything in there for nothing, right? We are to have those feast days almost, but to be disciplined enough to go back to doing his will, to go back to doing what he wants, is what's important. And that discipline is not built overnight. That is what the training is for, right? That the athletes didn't become athletes by waking up one morning and all of a sudden they're huge and everything. No, it took years and years and years. So it's gonna take us a while to get to that point where we can genuinely love Jesus even when times are tough. When we can genuinely love Jesus for who he is and not so much of what we get out of it. And that way, we can be an athlete in Christ. My name is Travis, and thank you guys for watching so much.